Nice shirt.
Me?
Is that official Sparkplug TV merch?
Why, yes, it is.
Is that from the official famous website of Sparkplug TV car reviews?
Actually, yes, it is. You can find it at http://
That's a no. Do you just have a hyperlink?
Oh, yeah, I do actually. It's in the link in the description below.
Thanks.
The Sparkplug TV official merch store has stickers, t-shirts, and a nifty little keychain too. My favorite is the t-shirt because not only does it make you look super skinny, but it also doubles as a towel to wax your car with.
Dude, what are you doing? I'm just waxing my car.
A tissue for your issues.
I just miss Pontiac so much.
It's okay, buddy. I might get GTO again someday.
And even something you can wear on a first date.
So what is it you do for a living?
Oh, well, I review cars on YouTube.
Oh, really? Do you have a favorite car?
Yeah, Tesla Model Y, actually.
And you call yourself a gearhead?
What?
You.
Come on! I love Elon Musk. He's daddy.
Check out my Etsy store with the link provided wherever you're watching this.
What's up, Sparks? Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. We are sashaying away with deals.
Welcome back to Sparkplug TV, where I do car reviews for literally everybody, not just car enthusiasts. Today, I am super stoked to have my very first Jaguar on the channel, thanks to Johnson Lexus of Durham Pre-Owned Center. The Johnson Lexus of Durham Pre-Owned Center opened in 2020. With space to carry over 1,000 vehicles, they have everything from futuristic luxury cars like this Jaguar to just about any make and model for any budget. All backed by the Johnson automotive quality and customer service they are very well known for. I had so many different cars I could choose to review, but for some reason, this 2020 Jaguar I-Pace SE was literally calling me by my name. Each year for the I-Pace, excluding 2021 because I guess Jaguar was just like, yeah, whatever, we don't need to make any 2021 models, has seen minor adjustments here and there. No, seriously, look it up. There isn't a 2021 model. I don't know why. But for the 2020 model, the only major difference is a whopping 8% range extender thanks to software updates and a better econ mode. The 2020 I-Pace model comes in 3 trims starting at $71,000 for the S model and $82,000 for the top-end HSE model. This is the mid-range SE model coming in at $77,000 and is probably the best bang for your buck. All models come with standard all-wheel drive, which at this point we all know means one motor at the front and one motor at the back, unless you're Rimac C or Navara, of course, which has a motor in each wheel. The 2 motors are equipped to produce a combined 394 horsepower and a staggering 512 pound-feet of instantaneous torque. It does 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and has a top speed of 180 miles an hour. Now that's worth a Jag badge. Jaguar Badguar? Jaguar Badgie? Whatever, let's just look at the battery. So just like the drivetrain, all I-Paces come with a 90 kilowatt hour power plant with an EPA estimated range of 253 miles, which it places right in the middle of all other compact luxury crossover EV SUVs. But with the fast charging station, you can get up to 80% in 40 minutes, but plugging it into a regular wall outlet takes literally 13 hours to recharge it. Or an entire shift at the job that I'm currently trying to get out of. So don't forget to like this video and watch it till the end, and comment down below, and most importantly, subscribe. Well, if Elon wasn't so busy buying out Twitter instead of ending world hunger, maybe he would take a second to reconsider the design of his Teslas, because I just feel like this is what a luxury EV should look like. The front fascia is quintessentially Jaguar with the maroon Jaguar badge, the huge bass mouth-like grille, and these gorgeous 120-degree angled LED daytime running lights with the fully LED headlamps and high beams. I don't know, I think I like the front end so much because it resembles a gas-powered car. But then why put an actual grille on the front end? I mean, these aren't open. Well, if you notice, the top half of the grille has actually been bent inward and goes up into the front hood. This is actually an aerodynamic trick that keeps the car stable at high speeds and keeps rain and dust off the rear windshield because the air then flows from the front grille up into the back spoiler. There is some functionality because the lower half of the grille is actually for keeping the batteries cooled. I couldn't find any answer in doing my research with these front air ducts right here, but I'm pretty sure that these air ducts are for keeping massive brakes from being engulfed by flames as well. But in general, I am just obsessed with the way that the front end looks. It's so tough and it's gorgeous. It's a great amalgamation of luxury, gorgeousness, aggression. It's just so quintessentially Jaguar. It's just refined. So the side and the car overall has such a unique profile. These massive two-tone, five-spoke rims that somehow scream luxury, efficiency, and performance all in unison. I'm obsessed. I'm also obsessed with this fender line that does a dramatic high jump over the front wheel and cascades all the way to the back as it gets more angular and pointed towards the rear. Now, of course, in the spirit of aerodynamics, the I-Pace does come with automatic door handles that pop out, if I can find it, when you unlock the door and sit flush when you start driving. Finally, down here, you've got a continuation of the two-toned look with the black and white rocker panels that further accentuate the look. I mean, dare I say this car looks like a sexy chunky battery on wheels? I'm obsessed! So the first time I saw this rolling down the road, my eyes were immediately transfixed on the tail end. Somehow the juxtaposition of the rounded front end to the ultra-angular tail end just works. I'm obsessed with this back end. Have I mentioned how obsessed with this car I am? Hey, editor, can you keep an obsessed counter going? Yes, I know it's me editing the video, but it is Gemini season. I just have to speak to both of my personalities, you know what I mean? We really do get a bad rep online. Okay, no, but seriously, look at how cool this rectangular back end is that is then offset by this rounded back windshield. I'm geeking out at the design. The oversized Jaguar symbol with this giant Jaguar emblem is the icing on top of this cool back cake. Don't even get me started on these taillights. They're absolutely stunning when they're turned on with this like angular dip down at the bottom. Ooh, they're so sexy. Then when you open up the tailgate, it does obviously have an automatic lift gate. To then opens up to about 25 cubic square feet of storage in the back. And then with the seats down, it offers about 53 cubic square feet of storage. So now that I'm done geeking out about the back, let's geek out about the interior because it's sick. This cabin is gorgeous. Ooh, it's exactly what it should be. It is just stunning. I love the different variations of materials in this car. It's got this like texturized, it's that plastic molding, but it's actually soft touch. And then you've got this like also plastic, but still kind of like leathery kind of touch feel up here. The dashboard itself is just super elongated. It's really gorgeous. Everything else is like piano gloss black or leather. And it's got this like chrome piece that kind of extends just at the bottom and then kind of like outlines this fan vent right here. I really, really love the design of this center console. It's just gorgeous. It's just fully in the future. It's stunning. It's not too many buttons, and then it's like accentuated by this 5-inch touchscreen right here that I'll get into in a second. I love the tan color in this car as well. The seats are super duper comfortable. The design of the steering wheel is really gorgeous. It follows suit with all the different colors in the car and the different textures. The controls they seem like they would just be touch only, but they're actual tactile buttons that do change. Like, so when the phone rings, there is a green and a red phone emblem that pops up. But then when the phone is not ringing, it's just like a singular white phone icon. That's pretty cool. The lane follow assist button turns to orange when you turn it on. And then it follows suit in the gauge cluster. The gauge cluster itself is gorgeous. It's so clear, it's so crisp, and it's so very customizable. You can have it be one gauge, which basically just shows the power and the charge as well as the speed. You can have it to be 2 gauges, like a traditional gauge cluster, where it's got the speed on one side and then the charge and the power on the right-hand side, as well as it shows you how much power is left. And then in the middle, you can just customize it to whatever you want it to be. Right now, I've got the map on it. The map is just really cool in the center. Or you could just have it totally just be the map, kind of like an Audi, where it's like the gauge cluster is fully a map, and then down at the very bottom in the middle, there is the speed. So, you know, super customizable, super clear. The heads-up display at full brightness is actually too bright. You gotta kind of like tailor it down because I kept getting distracted by the heads-up display because of how freaking bright it was. The Meridian sound system is absolutely, it is banging. It is so good sounding, and I really love the integration of the tweeter, or I guess these are the mids. The mids show off the Meridian badge, and then everything else is just kind of flush with the design of the interior. The infotainment screen is 10 inches, and it's pretty good. I think it's decent. I don't think it's very laggy. There's a lot of details in the infotainment system, but it's not bad. I think it's right in the middle. It's not really terrible and it's not too much. The literal and figurative centerpiece of this car is the center stack controls, like right here. This 5-inch touchscreen is such a cool idea. And it mostly houses like the climate controls, but you can also change it to like have your phone here, so you can like dial there, or you can switch it over to like the media. You can do different media stuff right here. It also, but I've been driving it around for a couple of days and I actually really liked it just on the climate mode. Speaking of the climate mode, these dials are so cool. You know, these dials are screens themselves. On the driver's side, when you pull up, that's where the fan speed is. And then when you push back down, it goes back into the temperature control. Because it is an electric vehicle, it does have like smart climate. So right now the air is blowing on me, but only because I'm sitting in here. But if there was just one person in the car, it would only condition the driver's seat. So, you know, it's just to save energy. I think that's a pretty cool feature. Down here, of course, you do have the different drive modes, and then you do have the active air suspension that can raise and lower itself. It lowers all the way down to the exit position, and then there's like a medium and then a high mode for off-roading. Again, I don't know who's taking their Jaguar I-Pace off-roading, but it does have that option. There's another cool feature on the infotainment screen where it's called preconditioning. The preconditioning is basically, it's kind of like warming up your car in the morning, but you can set different times for like when, you know, you've got your car plugged into the wall and you got to go to work in the morning. I guess I don't know who goes to work anymore. And you're going to work in the morning and you can precondition the car for when you're going to set off. It basically adjusts the temperature of the cabin and it also warms up the battery as well as the motors, so that it gives you like the most efficient battery usage that you have available. The one complaint I know I've been gushing about this cabin, but like the one complaint I do have about the cabin is it's too simple. Like it's too simplistic, especially on the infotainment screen. You know, especially because I'm a huge fan of Apple CarPlay because I've always got my phone plugged into the CarPlay. And typically like on these cars, like there's like a tactile home button that you can go to, but this does not have a single button. And it took me a while to get used to the fact that like I literally had to like click on the home screen of my iPhone and then I had to click on the Jaguar button to then get back to the Jaguar settings. Like it was a lot to kind of get to that point. I just wish that there was like a singular tactile button that kind of took you back home. Other than that, I mean like the minimalism in the infotainment screen itself is actually pretty cool. And finally, the other complaint I have is just how minuscule. I know I was gushing about the design of the back windshield, but how minuscule and how little you can barely see out of that back end. So, I mean, thankfully this does have a 360-degree camera and a backup camera as well as backup and front parking sensors, but I don't know, it's so tiny back there. Yeah, obsessed. I'm just obsessed with this car. It's so gorgeous on the inside and the outside. It's just, the designers deserve an A++ for this car because I just love how pretty it is on the inside. Now that I'm done gushing about it, let's go for a spin. All right, got the I-Pace in dynamic mode as always, and I am going to whip it around this corner. Oh, the acceleration is instantaneous, just like the Plaid. And you can take corners so easily. Oh, that just hopped a little bit. This does have active air suspension as well as active dampers. So like if I were to put it back into comfort, and then keep the suspension where it's at, I mean, you can tell that the steering is not nearly as responsive. It's just a bit more wobbly. In general, like, just the overall ride of this car is insane. You know, I think the biggest qualm, I think the only qualm really I have about, well, I have two qualms about this car. One of them is the actual rotor brakes themselves are extremely touchy. So right now I have the regenerative braking on high, so I'm trying to utilize like the one pedal driving. The regenerative braking on this I-Pace is probably not nearly as heavy as most EVs. So you are having to use the actual rotor brakes a lot, which isn't ideal because especially once you put your foot on the brake, it gets extremely, extremely touchy. Generic handling is just so tight. Even just in like, you know, comfort mode. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, this is just so agile. I mean, you can throw it around corners, absolutely just chuck it. And it's like, f it. And I think my favorite thing about this is like how quiet it is, because nobody can hear me like flooring it. Oh my God. You know, this cabin in general is just so cushy and it's so comfortable and it's so magnificent. Man, I'm obsessed with this cabin, totally. I'm obsessed with how low to the ground this is and how in control you are at all times. Like if I just wanted to, oh, that's a private community. I can't do that. All right, time for pros and cons. I don't think I have any cons. Just kidding, I do. This car is fantastic. I don't think that EVs are quite still there yet. I still think that at this time I'm going to still prefer a gas-powered vehicle, but I do love this version. I think that this takes what, like, and I haven't tested an Audi e-tron yet, so I don't even know. I mean, I've sat in one before, but you know, I've never driven one, and I would assume that it's probably comparable to this one. But if you want something unique that isn't like an Audi, this might be the one that you want to go for. I mean, this is a great departure from, I think, the norm. It's just so refined, and it's so poised, and it's styled correctly. So, pros and cons. So, pros is, bar none, the exterior design. It just speaks to me. That's the whole reason I picked this car to do in the first place, was just because of how gorgeous the exterior is to me. The same thing for the interior. I think the interior is absolutely gorgeous. It's got amalgamation of all of the different materials, and they fit well together. They're beautifully crafted, and it's just so good. Another pro is definitely the handling. It is stunning. It is absolutely stunning. I love it so very much. Like, it is just so nimble. You're blasting around corners. It's just pure drivability, and it's fantastic. And obviously, finally, the last pro is definitely just the acceleration and the speed. It's definitely not Tesla Model S Plaid 0 to 60, you know, because it's like an extra 3.5 seconds, but it's like up there with like Porsche 911s and, you know, whatever. Okay, cons. So these are kind of nitpicky, and it's like, I didn't talk about this at the beginning of the video. I forgot to put this in, but the frunk is like literally 25 gallons. It's like nothing. Like you literally can't put anything in the frunk. It's comparable to the Ioniq 5. Like it's bad. It's really tiny. Another con, I think, would be the brakes. The regenerative braking and then the rotary brakes themselves. The rotary brakes actually make a lot of noise when you're braking them, and they're also ultra sensitive. They are like too sensitive to the point that like when you're trying to take over from the regenerative braking into the rotary braking is like, holy shit, okay, I guess I gotta stop too. Oh my God. And then you're like, oh, especially like if you're not used to it. Like it is so abrasive, and it's not very intuitive. I guess the only other con that might be is, you know, and I didn't talk about this either, but in the navigation system, it does show you how far you have, like in like a circular basis on how far you can drive based on how much battery you have. But I still think that one thing that Tesla has right over all these other electric cars is the fact that like it shows you the charging stations on your route and how far and how long it's going to take you to get to your destination based on how long it's going to take you to charge the car, you know. And I'm pretty sure that don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that the 2022 model did upgrade that in their infotainment system and their nav system, but for this model it does not have that, and I think that it's definitely lacking in that sense that it doesn't have that. So all right, y'all, that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this caffeine-fueled video. I have been very caffeinated this entire time. I don't know if you could tell, but I've been talking like a million miles an hour. It's crazy. So in that case, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to Johnson for supporting today's video. Thank you to everybody that's been supporting my videos thus far. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey Sparks, thanks for watching today's video. If you want more Sparkplug TV content, click right here. Right here. You got two options. Choose one, or both.